It's Ross from CrossFit Caber here again. Today we're going to talk about carbohydrates, and this is the one that most people get wrong with their diet or have the hardest time understanding with their diet. So we're going to break it down pretty simply and figure it out, okay? We talked about protein, we talked about fats. Pretty much if something is not a protein or a fat, it is going to be a carbohydrate. So this can go from fruits, vegetables, breads, rices, grains, all the way through to chocolate, Coca-Cola, soft drinks, alcohol, all the things that we really like. All these would break down into be a carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are a main fuel source for your body, but the way your body interacts with them is going to be a little bit different depending on that type of carb. Alright, so some of them are going to be absorbed slower, give you a slow release of energy. Some are going to be what we call fast-acting carbs, and these are the ones that your body converts into energy really quickly. The problem with these ones is that if you eat a lot of those fast-acting carbs and you don't use that energy, your body will store that as body fat, okay? So one of the biggest things people can do to start changing some of the body composition is take some of those fast-acting carbs out, add in some more of that lean protein, some of the slow-acting carbs, and you should start seeing some changes in that when you combine it with exercise. Right, so we're going to break it down. We want you mainly to be eating vegetables, right? And you want to change up the vegetables, have a variance in those vegetables. So a good way to do that is to eat with the seasons. And like we said in those other videos before, you want to get 4 or 5 servings at about palm sized if you're mainly eating vegetables. Next source you want to look at for those carbohydrates will be fruits, okay? We're talking about real fruits and not stuff that comes in the can covered in syrup, okay? And again, a variance in there, change it up, but don't just be the person that eats broccoli and bananas. Get oranges, get apples, get broccoli, get turnips, get Brussels sprouts, get different things in there, change it up. When you look at your plate, it should be different colours and different types of veg. Last thing we want to talk about is starches and those fast-acting carbs. Okay, so potatoes, rices, grains, breads. These are all right in small amounts and the correct amounts, but the ideal time to take these is either before exercise. If you're having a meal before, an hour or two before you go and exercise, it's a good time to take it to give you energy to get through that workout, or directly after a workout with a smaller fat content in that meal to allow your body to rebuild and repair itself from what you've just done. If you're mainly eating potatoes, breads, cereals, rices, that sort of thing, a good rule of thumb is to start taking some of that stuff out, start getting more of those vegetables in. Basically, most of us know what we need to eat. We're grown-ups and we just need to kind of start acting like it a little bit. The last thing we want to kind of think about is getting some habits built in that are going to actually help you get fitter and healthier, and these small steps are going to get you there a lot better. So the first habit we recommend is when you look at your plate, you should be able to see protein, a lean protein source, and naturally producing fat, and that carbohydrate source in there. And we talked about the serving sizes a little bit before about that, but you should be able to identify in 3 meals per day those different things. You should be able to go, there's protein, there's carbs, there's fat, right? Only when that is a habit, only when you're in the habit of making sure that you get those 3 meals, protein, carbs and fat in every single one, do you move on to the next habit, and that is taking starches to 1 meal per day. So cereals, breads, rices, grains, potatoes, 1 meal per day. So if you're having cereal for breakfast, don't have a sandwich for lunch, and potatoes at dinner. If you're having potatoes at dinner, don't have that sandwich at lunch, have something else in there with that protein, carbs and fat. All right? And the last thing we really want to do is take out all processed food. If it comes in a box, chances are it's not real food. If it's got a list of ingredients you can't pronounce, chances are something in there is not real food. And start cutting out that processed sugar as much as you can. All right, guys, have a good one.